Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the HIT.OR.DIE podcast with your hosts, Jake Saldati and Chad Rawford.
What's going on, everybody? Back in the office.
Again.
Yeah, you know what? It's kind of cozy here, though. Cozy. Thanks, everybody, for subscribing. If you're watching and not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Follow us on Twitter.
I dare you to do it.
I dare you. Follow us on Twitter at HIT.OR.DIE Podcast, on Instagram at HIT.OR.DIE. I always forget it's on TikTok, too, at HIT.OR.DIE. And
we had somebody ask to get a TikTok, and I was like, in my head, I don't know who it was either, but in my head, I'm just like, well, did you at least go look to see if we had one before you message us?
even I forget.
And then, so I messaged, I think we messaged him back at like the same time.
Yeah,
like,
we got one.
Yeah, we have one.
You sent the link. I remember that. I was like a week or two ago. Yeah, we are on. It is on TikTok at HIT.OR.DIE. Some more teams clinched playoff spots. The Yankees not clinched playoff spots, but won divisions. The Yankees clinched the AL East. St. Louis clinched. I think the Braves and Mets are tied going into the last 7 games, which will be a great series this weekend. Today is Wednesday. The Mets and Braves are taking on each other.
Guardians clinched.
The Guardians, that's right. The Guardians clinched. I think I haven't looked at the wild card. I don't know where the AL wild card was at. I want to say Seattle is still, or I'm sorry, the NL. So the NL's got, it looks like the Pods are in good shape. I mean, the Phillies are still right there. That's still going to come down to the end of the next 7 games between Milwaukee, Philly, and San Diego. And Seattle is right there in the hunt, a game and a half. It looks like they're dead tied there with Tampa.
And Baltimore could get hot.
I know, man. It's not over yet. It's not 0.0, which I love. And I love that some of the people on Twitter, fans of the show, reminded us.
Well, what's the percentage? Or is that their winning percentage?
That is their winning percentage. But they had a tough loss last night against Boston. Rallied back to tie it, but ended up going down, I think, 13-9.
Tough division.
It is a tough division. Things that happened over the weekend, I think actually the very next day after the podcast came out last week, chasing history, Albert Pujols gets to 700 at Dodger Stadium. Actually hit 699 and 700. I missed 699. I go on Twitter and I see your tweet and I'm like, Chad called it. And then sure enough, he does hit 700. And were you watching it?
Yeah. No. Yes and no.
Yes and no.
I don't know. Encanto could have been on, and then I don't. Maybe Secret Life of Pets. We could have figured it out. I've been trying to have them watch their iPads lately, so I can keep up with what's going on. So, but I want to say I either just missed it or
within the right amount of time you saw 700.
I messaged within a couple minutes. So,
what did you think, man?
I'm happy for him.
Were you worried that he wasn't going to get it?
No. He's been so good for the game, and being 52 years old and still doing what he's doing. It's just, it's incredible.
They keep saying 42, don't they?
He's not 42.
I mean, that's younger than my older brother. He does not look younger than my older brother.
No, he doesn't look like.
My older brother's.
He doesn't look 4 years older than me. 5 years older than me. But no, I'm happy for him. It's great for the game. I think you made a good point. We talked about it after the podcast.
Yeah, well, I thought about it the next day, and I was like, I hadn't thought about it.
I know. And if the DH never happened, he probably wouldn't do it this year.
If the
he would have
NL
retired under 700.
And so people kind of shit on it to start. Like people were some of the baseball purist guys.
I've never shit on it.
You've always been a fan over it. You've always wanted to see it. I get
for this.
Yes.
For this though. Not just for the record or whatever, but it's for guys like that are in the end of their career that still have that opportunity to play. And, imagine there not being a DH. You can go watch a Cardinals game and maybe get lucky to see Pujols play.
Yeah.
Now, with the DH happening, you are more likely to be able to see him play in his last season. And you want to see a hitter rather than, we don't want to see Wainwright hit. I'm sorry. I'd rather see Pujols get 3 at-bats, 4 at-bats than Wainwright get at-bats. and people can, always say, well, it's, better for the coaching, the real coaches and coaching and how they do moves and blah, blah, blah. All that stuff's predetermined anyways now.
For the most part, yes.
So, I mean, it doesn't even matter anymore because even if you have a DH, that pitcher's still going 5 innings. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think there'd be more of an argument if the AL had, a significant amount of complete games over the NL and vice versa. So it's just... But this is why I want the DH. I want to see a hitter hit. I want to see Nelson Cruz when he's getting up there too. He's legitimately 42 probably, and he can still hit. I want to see him hit. I don't want to see a pitcher hit. But like you said, and I thought it was great, and we both were like pissed that we didn't bring it up because it would have been perfect.
I think it's pretty obvious.
It would not have happened.
Yeah, that was my only question. Is like you're not. Without the DH in the NL, you don't see history. 700. You just so, and I'm glad he got there. You weren't worried at any point in time he wasn't gonna get there.
Not when we were this close. I just feel like he's done so much good for the game. I believe in baseball gods. I'm a big believer in that, and I just think that it was meant to be. It was meant to be. He is solid.
I'm with you. I was pumped. I didn't see 699. I got to see 700. It was pretty insane. A well-deserved ovation from the fans in Dodger Stadium. The team.
Who'd he go over to right after he hit home plate? Who'd he go slap hands with?
Beltre, wasn't it?
No, wasn't it Barry Bonds?
I thought it was Adrian Beltre.
Was it Adrian Beltre?
I think so.
Yeah, I was watching something different.
I could be wrong too.
But then again, why would Barry Bonds be at a
behind
Dodger
home
game?
plate? I think it was Adrian Beltre, but I'm not sure.
Another great.
I'll have to go look that. But
that would almost still be playing if the DH was around. Just saying.
Well, and we'll get into some more of that kind of narrative as we get into some other topics here later in the podcast. There was something on social media. I think it was on TikTok. I sent it to you about a guy. There's a point in time in that first at bat. Was it 699 or I don't know which one it was.
It was the first one
where he breaks his bat, goes to change it out, and the guy's commenting during that saying,
oh, here's the cork.
Here's the corked bat.
Yeah.
And the bat boy brought it out. Like, is it just somebody talking shit to talk shit?
Yes. It's just somebody to make something.
I was like, why would he not use the corked bat the whole time? Right? Why would he start
after it breaks?
Yeah, no. I'll break this one, then bring me the fake one, the corked one. I didn't. I had no way.
I mean, with the balls the way they are, you don't need a corked bat.
The ball jumps.
Flies. And again, here's a conspiracy theory that is the balls being used in the St. Louis Cardinal games different than the balls being used in the regular game.
They mentioned that. Even Judge's balls when he comes up to hit, they're using different baseballs.
Are they more juiced?
I don't know if they're to identify the ball.
I don't know. I don't know. There's been
they used
how many different balls used all season.
That's true too.
It's crazy. You don't.
I
know
always
what's
go back
used.
to Gamboa when he talked about when their season started in Tulsa. They were using 3 balls this season, and that was Double-A.
Yeah.
So I know that Pujols had different baseballs brought out. Also,
but I don't get it. What's different?
To be able to mark them, identify them. I'm not sure if somebody catches it. If it's there, I don't know. They put a stamp on those anyways, right? They sticker those. They do send them back, right? If a fan caught it and wants that ball,
which 700's never been found, right?
I think it was, yeah. Right?
I thought the guy left with it.
I don't remember.
You got to authenticize or whatever, and then he just bounced.
What are you doing? What are you doing with that ball? That question's been out there a lot everywhere.
It's been out there. I honestly
we haven't talked about this.
I think just a picture with him, handing it to him, because you have that picture forever. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, I think it depends on what kind of fan you are. The guy's probably a Dodger fan.
Yeah, I think it was.
So I don't know what the Dodgers.
At least it looked like in the crowd when they show the guy catching it or getting the ball, you had a Dodger uni.
I mean, I don't know what I'd ask. I just think having a picture with him, handing it to him, because you know that ball's going to go in the Hall of Fame, or even holding the bat, maybe asking to hold the bat with it too or something, and then just hoping that Pujols is generous enough to give me something. I think the more you ask for something.
Well, I think he's definitely generous enough.
Yeah.
I love watching.
But I think just having
videos.
A picture to remember that forever.
Like an autograph
is worth
of that
more,
picture.
Maybe. Or just another, he's going to give a ball. He's going to autograph something for you.
I would mind all of it. Give me a jersey.
I know, but what's greedy?
Well, okay. So reading up, and I saw a post on Twitter about the guy that got McGuire's 70th or 63rd or whatever. It was a record breaking home run.
So it was either 62 or
I think it was 60. It might have been 62.
70.
He wanted a autographed jersey, bat, and to meet Mark McGuire. And I guess everything was fine until meeting Mark McGuire was not an option. And so he said, fuck off, I'm keeping the ball. And it ended up selling it for like $3 million. So
why can't he meet Mark McGuire?
That's just
Was
what
that
it
a
said.
Mark
I don't know.
McGuire
That, apparently he denied it. That's what this said.
So Mark denied it.
Yes. I don't know I don't know if that's true or not. This is what was out there. Most of the shit out there is not true, right? Yeah. But I saw it and I was thinking, I'll bring this up. I mean, speaking of that and things that aren't true, I know you've seen this. We'll segue into Mike Trout and that video going around him not signing 2 kids' autographs in front of his hotel.
So I was looking at that. That dude that posted that with his kids out there, all his stuff is him getting autographs of people. So that guy either knows.
Well, he's a Barstool guy.
Okay, so he's got connections.
I would assume so. He's got 170,000 followers.
Seems to be at the right spot at the right time, which is kind of iffy in itself, right? And I almost wonder if Trout signed stuff for them before.
Probably.
And then just was, I've probably seen this guy all the time. I've seen the kids more than once. I've signed stuff for him and just went about his day. And here's a guy that wants to make a big deal about something because that's
I don't even know if he's the one that took that video. If that video was sent to him.
Well, whoever was the guy commenting and posted it, I went on their thing and like looked at their stuff.
Yeah,
and he's like, "Oh yeah, so walked over."
Jersey
to me.
Jerry is a Barstool guy,
and I'm just like, dude, I was just looking like your kids and you seem to be in the right spot in the right time. All the time,
I don't know if he's the source of the video.
So,
I'm not sure. I don't think he is. I just think he posted it or got it somehow.
I also didn't see the kids say anything.
Well, you don't see what they have. Like, does she have a stack of things to sign? Like, what did
they might not even have anything. They honestly, you don't even know what they have.
Yeah, they had something. Hands. I don't know what it was, but I mean, he's on his way to work, man. He's on the way to the park.
He's going somewhere in a hurry.
You're camping outside. I don't know. That's just kind of weird. Like, go to the ballpark like everybody else.
Yeah.
Because another guy that's pretty generous with his time, autographs. Definitely sought after autograph right there. I just don't.
It's just a story.
I don't think anybody buys it either.
Oh no.
Trying to put out that he's a dirtbag for not doing it. Like what did it say? Like he's not for the kids. That's just bullshit. I don't think anybody believes that. It's just another like the corked bat for Pujols moment.
It's just trying to get likes.
Yes.
Just trying to be seen.
Clickbait. Little clickbait.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think anybody bought it though. Getting into some Judge stuff, staying on the home run train. Listen, let's start here. I brought up last week on the podcast, like we go back and forth on the Ohtani Judge MVP stuff, and I kind of said some things without really doing the research on it. Definitely comparing the AL East to the AL West. Now, I don't think the AL East is worse than the AL West. I don't think anybody would disagree with that. I think most people are going to say the AL West is not very good. Mm-hmm. But I was like, I'm going to go look and see how the Yankees did versus the AL West, because I'm making claims and maybe they didn't do so well. And it turns out they didn't do that well as a club. I don't have his numbers versus the AL teams, but the Yankees versus the AL West were 15-13, 2-5 against the Astros, 2-3 versus Seattle, 4-2 versus the Angels, 2-1 against Texas, and 5-2 against the A's. And it was pretty much split. They were 11-4 at home versus the West, versus 4-9 on the road versus the AL West. So,
I mean, when you come out to the West Coast from New York, you're going on a time change. You're playing in Oakland. Sucks. I mean,
well, there was one they went home. They were at home, went to Texas, and then from Texas to Baltimore. And then no day off, no off day. It was a travel day, play the next day in Baltimore. Like, that's not easy to do.
No, it's not. And I'm not trying to make excuses.
No,
but
I'm just saying maybe.
I think the better number, if you want to look it up, is to see how all the AL East teams did against all the AL West.
Yeah, that's true. That's probably a better.
Then you have.
That's probably a better way to do it, and I should have done that.
Because if you just take the Yankees, I mean,
next episode
they're 11-4 at home.
I'll have yeah,
and 4-9 on the road. Anybody that's ever played the game knows it's harder to play on the road. I mean, just it is. Everybody's against you, you know. So, I mean, but you're also New York, where you have the most fans at every other ballpark of any opposing team. So, I don't know. I mean, I'm still gonna.
I agree with you. I just wanted to put that out there. The Yankees with Judge being on that team,
and then you got to go further. Even you go, okay, what are Ohtani's numbers versus the AL West,
or the East? Yeah. I'll have to break that down. I did not do a very good job of this.
No, you're on the right track.
Left out a couple big pieces. I will do a better. I failed you. I'm sorry.
Fail me.
The people.
No, screw the people. They failed us. Still at 500 and something.
Yeah,
subscribers.
Yeah. Let's get on that. Let's get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, please. I would love it. I'd be very appreciative of it.
We're trying to make some money here.
But I still think Judge is the MVP.
Yeah, 100%.
Which is probably where we should go next, because you kind of brought up some topics, and I wanted you to kind of get into it because I think you have a good point to it.
So I agree with a lot of the stuff that's out there with Aaron Judge. He's
for the season,
what he's done this year, what he means to baseball, just what he's doing in New York. Being that guy. Like the other night, dude, I don't know if anybody saw it, but he was it was in Toronto. It was the game they lost in extras. And he was on deck. He was 1 for 3, and he is talking to the people by the on deck circle. And they were talking about it, just how loose he is. And I'm just like, dude, that's just and they mentioned that's what Mike Trout does that too. And I'm just thinking to myself, dude, that's what's great about it is he's so free and loose in such a pressure situation. You have the Maris brothers traveling all over trying to, be there when he hits 61 and there's so much pressure on you, but here he is just being free and talking to fans, which I actually love doing that when I played too, because I just felt like it keeps your mind right, I guess. You take pressure off yourself. If you're that dude just said something funny or you guys were talking, a little bit back and forth, you go up to the plate, just kind of free. So it was really good to see. So I like everything about Aaron Judge. I think he's the MVP. He is doing something that nobody has ever done, being first in all those categories. But I did see something that I didn't like. It struck me a little different, is when somebody said that he's doing something Barry Bonds has never done. And I was like, okay. At first I was like, okay, it makes sense because it's true. He's doing something nobody's ever done really before ever, is be first in all those categories. But then I went and looked at the numbers, and I'm just but if Aaron Judge, and I'm not trying to take anything away from him, played in the same era or even that season where Barry hit 73, the numbers are not even close.
We'd be talking about Aaron Judge, but
we would be
leaving his at bat to go watch Barry Bonds' at bat.
Yes. And that's why I'm not trying to take anything from Aaron Judge. I'm just trying to, it hit me hard when that person was like, oh, Barry Bonds has never done this before. Well, okay, I have the numbers then for Barry Bonds.
Are you going to 0-1?
I'm going to 0-1. He had 73 homers. It led the entire.
Yeah.
He had 137 RBIs, which is more than Aaron Judge has, and that wasn't first in the league. There's somebody that had more RBIs than him. He batted 328 in the league. That wasn't first either. Somebody batted higher than that. So Aaron Judge is at 314 right now, currently the Triple Crown winner. Barry Bonds wasn't even in a Triple Crown.
No, he wasn't leading in RBIs or batting average.
And his
numbers were still
easily.
Higher. Right.
That's why it's like, okay, then I go to, 02. He had 46 homers with 110 RBIs. The dude had 370. That was the first year. He was first in batting average in 370. But then he hit 341 the next year, not first. Then he hit 362. He had 232 walks. His on-base percentage, each of those years were over 500. 01, 515. 02, 582. 03, 529. 04, when he was intentionally walked 120 times, 609. Aaron Judge's on-base percentage is 425. And I'm not trying to take anything from Aaron Judge. It just hit me wrong when somebody tried to say, when they try to talk down about Barry Bonds because of the allegations of him taking steroids, which has never been proven, he still hit.
Well, they say so. It's a weird topic, this proven unproven thing, because I think they claim to have had samples that weren't allowed or weren't admissible in court for whatever reason. I don't remember what happened, and so they were never used against him. They say they have them, but I've also read where Balco didn't even use names on their samples. They used numbers. They were identified by number. So to say that they identified Bonds to these numbers, I don't know. I need to do more research on that. I wish we're going to get into a little spoiler soon, but I wish that there was like a documentary on some of that stuff. But what were his walks again, you said?
Bonds?
200. He had over 200. Well, that was 04.
That was 04. He had 232. The year he hit 73, he had 177 walks.
And he had 370, and how many walks did he have that year? That was 02?
That was 02. He had 198
and
walks.
They went to the World Series that year.
Yeah. That was the year they went to, and he played 143 games.
It's diminishing what he did to say that. But listen, the writers don't like him.
No, they don't like him. And the writers won't talk about this.
Well, and I guess that's part of it. Like, it's their job to bring this stuff back up to light. Like, listen, it is true. You could have a potential Triple Crown winner and break the American League home run record and the Yankee home. Like, it's incredible. Mm-hmm. I'm glad. I hope we get to see it.
Yes. I went back further even, right? To everybody says the greatest player of all time, which I don't think is Babe Ruth. The year he hit 60. The dude had 165 RBIs and wasn't first in that category.
165 RBIs?
165 and was not first in that category. And he had 137 walks. He batted 356 and wasn't first in that category either. He had 417 total bases and wasn't first. When the year before, he had 365 and was first. So, I mean, like...
And they played fewer games.
He played in 151 that year.
Okay, and
Judge is at 150.
He'll pass that.
He'll pass that.
Okay.
But again, I'm not trying to take anything away from Aaron Judge. I just hate when people trying to compare seasons because they're not comparable. Aaron Judge is doing this in a time where I feel, and I know a lot of people out there feel like baseball is just not what it used to be.
Well, it's clearly not.
It's clearly not. I mean, the league
whether or not people think it's
something.
better or not is a matter of opinion.
Yeah.
Which is the debate I don't really want to get into with people.
No.
Right? I have my opinion on it. Some people have theirs. You have yours. It's fine. I'm still watching it. They're still watching it. Right? So let's meet there in the middle and move on. But I don't think they're comparable. They're very different. A lot of people love to throw the steroid era, but I mean, there were pitchers doing steroids. So it wasn't just limited to hitters.
No.
And I know, Bonds was on there on Sunday Night Baseball during that Yankee broadcast and with A-Rod, and they brought up like being in the Hall of Fame. I have the video clip, and it seems like you don't hear him talk about it, so it obviously mattered to him.
Mm-hmm.
And
as it should. Dude, if anybody says not being in the Hall of Fame when you're deserving of it, whether you're in high school, college, professional, big leagues, you're lying. You care.
Here's the clip.
It is what it is. That's their vote. They are entitled to their vote, but that dream is still not over for me.
It's interesting you say dream because I'm sitting next to Alex, and Alex is not sure he's going to get in, but he admits that it means a lot to him. Does it mean a lot to you, Barry?
It means a lot to all of us, 100%, yes. We've earned
maybe we come back for one more bat and reset the clock.
Have you ever thought of that?
Give us one AB.
One AB sets the clock back to 0.
Maybe I have to talk to my boy Jerry Reinsdorf, see if I can beg him for one at bat.
They could use a big crowd in Miami.
I see nothing wrong with that either.
With them coming back for one more AB?
Hey, fuck the system.
Is that true? Would that reset the clock? I mean, he said
sure
it.
He would know.
Yeah, he knows. It matters.
I'm sure he would know.
So it's in the hands of the committee right now. It's their,
How sick would that be if, like, Barry Bonds comes out in San Francisco for an at-bat?
That game would be a sellout.
Sellout. I guarantee you that fool can hit.
He probably can.
I know A-Rod could probably hit. Dude, that'd be cool. That would be awesome. If they did that, that would be, or like Kurt Schilling came out and threw an inning. Or, you know what I mean? Like, that's what these guys should do. Roger
He
Clemens
still has the bloody sock wear.
I mean, dude, Roger Clemens threw in the alumni game at Texas a couple years ago when both his kids were alumni. Like, he could come out and throw an inning. Like, I think that would be awesome to do, to just say F the system. This system's broken. But then again, you also have to get an organization to agree to that. So
I'm sure some would do it.
The Giants would do it. Now, New York with A-Rod, maybe not.
Probably not.
So,
but somebody would.
Somebody would.
Seattle, Texas.
The A's.
They could use both of those guys.
Could use some crowd.
I would be a sellout for sure. They're Hall of Famers. It's sad the way it is. Like with Pete Rose, all of it. It all sucks.
I mean, you talk to anybody that played in that era, they'll still say he's the best hitter.
You talk to people now.
They've ever seen.
Well, he's the best power hitter to ever play, I would say, if not the best player.
I'm still on that Hank Aaron bandwagon.
It's impressive
with his numbers.
It's impressive.
Knowing his numbers now, his full numbers, like
it's arguable.
It's
arguable. When you think about if you took away all of his home runs, he still has more than 3,000 hits. Yeah, is insanity. And I think he has the record for RBIs too. Right? I think
something.
He's got a bunch of records.
I have it right here.
Yeah, they're right there together.
RBIs and total bases. Total bases and RBIs are all time.
Yeah. Yeah. If you ever, we've talked about Hank Aaron's numbers on here before, but if you haven't checked out his career stats, go there. It's impressive. That might be the best of all time.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty close.
They're Hall of Famers, man. It's a sad deal. But again, it goes back to the writers, one, not voting these guys in, but also the writers not highlighting this stuff and just coming out. But again, they don't like Bonds, so they don't care what they're saying, whether it's matter of fact or not.
Yeah. Which is wrong, I think. It's history, man. It's just like taking away these statues of history that, had racial connotation or whatever. I don't know. I just feel like it's history. Why don't we teach about it? Like why this is wrong? But what did this person do for, the game of baseball? I mean,
because a statue or whatever, just because Bonds is not in there doesn't mean Bonds didn't have a stamp on a game. Pete Rose didn't have a stamp. They did.
Yeah.
People talk. They're not Hall of Famers, and they get talked about much more than I'm sure a number of Hall of Famers Dude, you know what I'm saying? Like these,
I'd say 90% of the Hall of Famers that are in there, these guys get talked about more.
And I don't know anybody. And if you disagree, go ahead and let us know on social media. At Hit.OR.DIE podcast and at Hit.OR.DIE.
What do you mean you don't know anybody?
I don't know anybody that doesn't think any of those guys shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. Personally.
Underwood.
Doesn't think?
I don't think so.
Well, I'm going to have to talk with him.
I don't think he does.
But he doesn't like Bonds.
I know. But I mean, I think he would do that for Roger Clemens too.
Maybe. Okay,
we know Rafael Palmeiro deserves to be in.
Yeah.
I think Mark McGwire deserves to be in. I think Sammy Sosa deserves to be in. Kurt Schilling, A-Rod.
Well, Kurt Schilling kind of, but again,
he still deserves to be in. I mean,
because you pissed off people, that's why you're not in. There's the sole reason why you're not in. As some people got a little red-assed about some things you had to say.
Which is funny because all you did, I'm acting like I'm Kurt Schilling right now. All you did my whole entire career was turn everything I said into a negative, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So all you did was either try to make me look good or try to make me look bad. But now I'm trying to question you, and now I'm still the bad guy. It makes no sense. And you're sad because I'm coming at you. Like, it's a double standard. It's bullshit. The media can do whatever they want, flip any story they want to. But if they get questioned about it or somebody comes at you, then woe is me.
Why? They vote on MVP, too. And they vote on the Hall of Fame. And it needs to change, or the players need to be allowed to vote for both, or Hall of Famers should be allowed to vote for Hall of Fame as well as players being allowed to vote for MVPs. But baseball wants to change everything else about the game, but that stuff.
Yeah.
Why are we not changing that? Because it's broken, right? The system's broken, right? Because you vote based on emotion. Some of these people do. Like I said, we brought up last year's MVP. Well, I like Brandon Crawford a lot, and he had a career year. The San Francisco Writers voted for Brandon Crawford as MVP, and he wasn't the MVP. But because they're San Francisco based, how do you not vote for Brandon? Well, that's not. Again, it's politics. I understand that's how the world works. Unfortunately, sometimes. But baseball's changed everything about the game. All these rules, bigger bases, pitch clocks, no shift. Extra inning rule.
No sticky.
They're umpires are feeling players up after every inning. Combing through guys' hair. But we have the same voting rules. Change the fucking voting rules. Let's change that.
Yeah.
You've got people that never played, that don't know what these guys deal with day in and day out. They talk about it, they write about it, whether true or not. I'm not saying take their vote away. I'm saying let's let the players decide.
Yeah. I mean, make it a percentage.
I'm with that.
If you want, I honestly think they shouldn't have a say, period. They're fucking writers. They have nothing to do with the game of baseball. They're not paid by any organization.
And I don't know how it works in other sports. I don't know how basketball's system works. I don't know how hockey.
You probably
football.
have the same slapdicks fucking voting for every damn sport.
Probably. I don't know. That's pretty. We should probably know how those sports vote their MVPs, but we're just not. I mean, basketball is just one thing. I can't get into.
No, I'm done with basketball.
I feel like, yeah, why don't you just change it then? You're changing everything else. Let's change it.
Well, you got to change the man at the top.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if that's coming soon or not either. That's a whole nother topic.
Got to be Derek Jeter.
The captain is the
captain is the captain.
I don't think he'd do it.
He wouldn't do it because all the politics, just like what happened with Miami.
Yeah, I don't think he'd do it.
They ran him out of there. He was trying to change.
You know, when it's talking stats, like I asked you this, and we could just throw this out to the audience because maybe there is a legit reason why. I always wondered why the MLB stats are separated between regular season and postseason. But college baseball, those stats are applied till the College World Series is over. So if your team makes the top 64, your stats continue to count to the regular season. Mm-hmm. But in a pro baseball, they don't. I just never understood why that is. And maybe there is a reason. I'm not sure. You can still keep track of the postseason stats for the postseason, but why don't they count? Because everybody season ends in college too.
I mean, and you technically, I know I didn't bring this up earlier when we were talking about it because I think it's just never going to change. I guess you could technically go back and look at postseason stats and add those on to Babe Ruth or Roger Maris,
right?
Or you know what I mean, whatever they did in the postseason.
Who's got more home runs now?
But then you're gonna, yeah, exactly. Then you're gonna have to change the record books and all that kind of stuff. Which then again, you got these dumb slappies doing that stuff anyways. Like, go right about it. They need to do something.
We affected that by, I mean, there's guys that didn't have longer careers because there was no DH.
Yeah,
right. The NL didn't have it.
That's why.
Who's to say?
So would Hank Aaron have more homers? Played with the Braves. If they had a DH, would he have lasted longer? I mean, how many seasons did he play anyways? 23. I mean, that's still probably second most to
Say you squeeze another 2 years out of it.
You know, now he's at, I mean, Bonds had 762,
how many home runs did he hit? How many home runs did he hit his last year?
10.
So he's probably still not passing Bonds, but
after 73, when he was 39, he hit 40, and then his 40, 41, 42 was 20, 12, and 10.
So yeah, maybe he hits another 15 to 20 more in 2 years. Who's to say? I don't know. I just always thought that was an odd thing.
Babe Ruth had a workout regimen, you know.
Well, they talk about the ballparks being a lot larger then as well, though.
Yeah. So
there's differences.
And the balls weren't flying.
There's differences whichever way you dice it.
And he swung a fucking pine tree or oak tree. He might have swung the first maple bat ever, fucking tree trunk.
He probably, yeah. I mean, it's just there's differences with that era as there is with this era that you can't. You got to take into account both sides. You know, I'm with you. I don't think you're discrediting anything Aaron Judge.
No,
I don't think it has anything to do with Aaron Judge.
I love Aaron Judge.
It has to do with
what he does for the game. I love how he acts. Isn't it crazy that the two best players in the freaking major leagues don't pimp home runs? They don't show anybody up. They don't fucking, overly get excited about things that they do. They get excited about what their team does.
They have the same kind of
approach,
celebration with their team in the
dude.
The Yankees do the same thing.
How awesome it is to see that.
Yeah.
Like, then you got freaking that minor leaguer that. Did you see that thing?
Yes.
A freaking minor leaguer thought he hit a home run, pimps it. The left fielder is just 20 feet in front of the.
It's already
wall
back in the infield, and he's rounding third. Like, as he
the third baseman's looking at him like you're an idiot. The third base coach is looking at him like you're an idiot. He did one of these things, pointed to the outfield when there's nobody even in the outfield. Who you pointing to, you dumbass? And then the dugout's like got their hands on their head, like, what are you doing? And he finally stops and realizes he flew out.
He's probably not lived that down. He's probably still getting roasted for it.
And I saw somebody say he had like 10 career home runs. But here he is, pimping a F7. But that's what we live in. That's what we want to do. We want to hit the ball in the air. We want to pimp it. We want to look cool. Well, you look like a fucking idiot.
Well, spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. If you haven't seen the Nolan Ryan, Facing Ryan documentary on Netflix, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.
Come back in 20.
Come back and, or go watch it and come back. We're going to get into some of that right now because you speak on something where, the bat flipping or whatever, like some of it whatever, it's fine. I think we've covered this, but Nolan Ryan you're not doing that to Nolan. And if you can do it, you're probably going to pay the price.
Yeah. Then you're going to cry about it. Like, dude, what was it?
You can't cry about it. If you pimped a home run and you bat flip a dude and then you get drilled, like, that's just part of the game. Just like you want to celebrate. You can't cry about that shit.
No, I don't. I agree. You shouldn't get what's coming to you.
Oh, I guess you can.
Oh, you can.
If it were me, I don't care. And then you look like a real bitch if you do. Like, you're going to go pimp home runs and you're going to cry about getting drilled because you took 12 seconds to get to first base.
Well, there's a lot of bitches out there then.
Well, maybe there is. I'm just saying, Nolan Ryan didn't really give a shit.
No, Nolan Ryan threw at you if you took too long getting in the box.
How good was that?
It was good. It was good. It definitely needed a part 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, I agree.
It could have gone on, legitimately how tough his time was with the Mets, being away from home, being 19 in the big leagues, and then going to the Angels, and then meeting the pitcher or the pitching coach that, changed him and made him Nolan Ryan. Like, they could have gone more in depth of that.
Yeah.
Like, what he actually, it says what he changed, and you can see the difference, but like, it would have been cool, like, going into depth of like what he went through to change and how long it actually took him. Did it start in spring training? Did it start before spring training? Because, obviously he went in there and he threw like a no-hitter in like his third start or something, with the Angels. But like, stuff like that, the accident with his son, made him want to move closer to home, and then in Houston, and dude, it was freaking good.
Yeah, well, I agree. It could have been maybe a couple parts. I liked the interviews. I liked hearing, George Brett, Cal Ripken, Dave Winfield, Hall of Famers, like speaking to his attributes.
Pete Rose.
Yeah, Pete Rose. A lot of Pete Rose, actually. And there's a couple funny stories in there where they're together at an event. And, 27 years in the big leagues is incredible.
Throwing head.
So he stopped in 94 was his last year. I just remember the Ryan Express, the Advil commercials, which I thought was funny. And, he threw fucking hard. I don't remember the wildness, how wild he was, right? I don't remember the walks. You know what I mean? You just see how he throws super gas and strikes out a shit ton of guys. That's what I remember, and when I was in Little League, he was with the Rangers. That's who he finished his time with. But yeah, 27 seasons in the big leagues, winning a World Series early too. I think in his third year with the Mets in '69. That was his best year pitching with the Mets, by the way. His only winning season, I think it was 6-3. And I agree, like getting to Los Angeles, that would have been kind of neat to see. You see some of the training he did, just old school shit.
Well, and then you get to see Tom House.
Yeah.
With
Texas.
Which is the guru of all gurus in the pitching, which I thought was really cool because you hear about him and you see his stuff on social media, but like to actually see him as the pitching coach and then what he talked about and then the regiment that he had Nolan Ryan on, that the longevity. I mean, you talk about guys throwing gas. The dude was throwing 98 miles an hour in his 40s, and his arm never had issues, So it's just like, so what are we talking here? Like everybody wants to say, oh, these guys throw harder. That's why they have arm issues.
Well, what the catcher that he caught, they when they did try to measure the speed of his fastball,
it came out to back then. It was 100.6.
Okay.
And they said if they had the new technology today, that 100.6 is 108. Or no, it was 100.9. It would be a 108.6.
Yeah.
And the catcher was like, I just tried to catch it.
I think you said it was every bit of that too. By the way.
Yeah.
Which
is ridiculous.
The one thing that everybody was shocked about, and I mean, you told me this, and I didn't even think about it. In all those years, in 27 seasons, 0 Cy Youngs. So what is that the most like shocking part of it that you didn't know about Nolan Ryan?
Yeah.
I think to that and the World Series to win one in your first couple years, yeah.
And in relief, he helped that game 5. No, he didn't even.
I think he started that game, yeah.
No. He came in the third.
Was that what it was?
And they left him in the rest of the game.
I mean, he didn't pitch a whole lot of innings that year, but
no.
You get another 20-something years in the big leagues, to never get back there and win. I thought that was kind of a shocker. But, I mean, the strikeouts, the no-hit, like, to not be a Cy Young, and I mean the numbers, I had them too. I've printed them out because in '73, and you get to the documentary, if you've seen it, you know. But I finished second, and dude, he only finished second in the Cy Young voting one time.
Well, dude, he had a career ERA of 3.1.
Second in Cy Young voting one time.
Yeah, that year.
In '73.
Yeah.
Jim Palmer, who, listen, go look at those numbers. 22-9, 296 innings pitched. He had a 2.4 ERA.
Well, Nolan had 326 innings pitched
to 383 strikeouts, breaking the record. Yeah. I mean, he had
2.87 ERA. What did Palmer have?
2.4. And Palmer had half the amount of strikeouts. But, 162 walks. But, I mean, I don't know. 326 innings. How about this? In 1973, out of the 9 pitchers that ranked in the top 7. Yeah, there were 9 guys ranked through 7 because a couple were tied in voting. 7 of those pitchers in the American League were 20-game winners.
Wow.
7 of the 9. One of them was a relief pitcher who got to 15. That's why he didn't get to 20. And the other guy had 19 wins. Gaylord Perry. What's even odder though, if you go look at 74, another 20-game season, he finished third.
22-16.
Yeah, 22-16.
Led the league in innings pitched and strikeouts.
He wasn't an all-star. He wasn't an all-star in 74.
No, he came in third.
Third in voting, in the Cy Young voting.
Yeah.
I just thought that was I just none of that stuff makes sense. Obviously before my time, but still interesting. Again, they won the World Series in '69. He was a World Series champ with the Mets. 222 complete games.
Yeah.
Now, I was looking at some stuff. 222 complete games. Who's the best? Like, people say Kershaw's the GOAT, right? One of the best pitchers in Scherzer.
Kershaw? Oh, you mean now?
Yeah.
I told you the one that I think's most like Nolan Ryan is Scherzer.
Yes, I agree with you.
Because he does that, I don't give a shit. I'm coming at you. I'll throw at you.
Maybe I just used Kershaw because it's a Dodger.
I broke my nose. I'm still going to pitch.
Maybe it's just because the Kershaw's the lifelong Dodger.
Yeah.
So, again, 27 seasons, and I know Kershaw's not going to get there, but 222 complete games. Kershaw has 25 through 15 seasons.
Does he have 222 wins?
I'll get there right now. He doesn't have 200 wins. So that was the next thing. So Nolan Ryan's 222 complete games. Kershaw has 195 wins. 61 of those complete games were shutouts for Nolan Ryan. And then Kershaw, again, 195 and 87 is his record. So 282. Nolan Ryan for his career had 292 losses.
To 324.
To 324. So he had more losses than wins and losses. And I only say I'm not proud. I'm sure you're not proud of the losses, but that's how long he pitched. But do you think pitching in the National League helped him? His longevity? Or the National League.
Why would it? Why? Because
they didn't have the DH.
But he hit.
I know, but he also his innings dropped. His innings per season went down when he got to the NL.
When he got to Houston?
Or I'm sorry. I'm getting out of the NL. When he got to the DH, I'm sorry. AL in 73 is when the DH started. And then when he got to the National League, when he had to hit, that's when his innings started to decline because he wasn't going as many innings in complete games.
With Houston, yeah.
So it's like, did that help his longevity? Not having to go so many CGs.
Probably. But he's still going more innings than anybody now.
Yeah, 194. You see 200 and something.
232, 250.
There's only going to be a few that
220, 239.
Get to 200 this year.
Yeah.
9 seasons. He went 9 seasons out of 27, 9 seasons without one complete game shutout. Only 9. So every season but 9 had a complete game shutout. It's just really impressive. The documentary is really, really good, and I would suggest you go watch it.
Well, two no-hitters after 40.
7 total. I think he had 3 saves also in there.
3 saves.
How he went out or how his career ended,
I didn't know that.
I didn't either. Again, that was, 94?
93.
So I would have been, 12, or not 10 years old. Thinking about it, because we asked people on here, a lot of the guests, like, how do they feel about how their careers ended? Going out on their own terms. He didn't necessarily get to do that, but he got to do it pitching. You know what I mean? Like, not that that's something.
I mean, I think he did. He was 46. And I think he was going to throw till it was out. I think that
until I couldn't throw anymore.
I think that was his terms.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Still throwing 95, 96 at 46. That's why it kills me that people are like, oh, they got to pitch these less innings. No, if you take care of your arm and your body like you're supposed to, you can throw. Because we're not talking about, Greg Max threw 94 when he first came out, but we're not talking about a guy that's throwing upper 80s. We're talking about a dude that was one of the, if not the premier power pitcher to ever play this game. 27 years. We're not talking about Jamie Moyer. We're talking about Nolan Ryan. 27 years pitching.
Well, it's the most by any player ever.
Any player ever. A pitcher, for that matter, played longer than any position player. And I get it. They don't play as many days as a position player, but still, he's throwing. And he wasn't just throwing up lollipops.
He had
coming at you.
He had 1,000 more strikeouts.
Like his big thing was if there's nobody better than me in the pen, I'm staying out.
Yeah, you're not taking me out. I loved it. No, and there was 1,000 more strikeouts than Randy Johnson.
Yeah,
who's in second.
Yeah,
like that's not going to get touched.
Never.
Nobody's going to ever touch his strikeout.
Nobody won't touch his walks either. Probably. He's almost got 3,000 walks.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, dude. 5,000, almost 6,000 innings. What was it?
5,386.
53. Yeah, it's a really good documentary, and I love that. I wish there was more of that stuff. I wish there was more going back to just certain players like that. Like, I'm excited for this one on the USA basketball team coming out on Netflix soon. I forget what it's called, but I just like that stuff, dude.
Yeah, it's good.
ESPN nailed the 30 for 30 stuff, and I think it kind of triggered a lot of these starting to come out, and hopefully we get more of them. But go watch it. And Facing Nolan, it's an hour and 45 minutes. We gave a lot of some of the just minor details, but it's really good to see. You do get to see some of his training and how just old school it was, like swimming in a pool, stuff like that. I would definitely encourage you to go watch it. Again, Judge is stuck on 60. Hopefully we see that change here tonight and then this weekend at home against Baltimore, I believe it was. So,
hey, can we, before we go,
sure,
can we talk about how bad the President's Cup was?
I didn't watch it.
Exactly.
I didn't, dude. I saw the highlight Sunday.
Exactly.
Of the U.S. winning. That's all I saw. And I was like, I didn't even know the President's Cup was on.
It had to be the least watched President's Cup ever.
It was the least watched thing this weekend, for sure.
For sure. And the fact that Davis Love was like, these are the 24 guys that want to be a part of the PGA. Well, yeah, because they're not with the Live.
Because they didn't get offered $200 million.
I mean, and that's why it was terrible. I watched some of it and I couldn't watch it. Like, it was bad. Like,
yeah, I didn't see it until Sunday night.
I just wanted to bring that up.
No, it's funny. I love it.
It's a joke.
Well, because I'm not anti-Live.
No, I'm not either.
Who am
I to tell people what they can and cannot do with making money?
I'm still on the side that I think the PGA guys are the ones that have been complaining the whole time.
Yeah.
The Live guys, my thing with the FedEx, the people that don't know, the FedEx points that those guys earned this year, when they tried to go play for the FedEx points this year, with what they already had, I felt they should have. They accumulated those points. Now if you want to borrow them going forward, fine, go.
You know who wasn't at the President's Cup? Roy McIlroy for the international team.
No? Interesting. Yeah, he was talking the most.
But they had the most rookies on both sides.
Maybe it was a bad idea. Liv can watch that and say, hey, we want this guy and this guy.
It wasn't
that's
good,
what they're
though.
doing.
It wasn't good golf.
That's what they're doing. I didn't see I saw the highlights Sunday.
It could have been good golf. I don't know. It wasn't. I knew like 5 names, like legit.
I totally had no idea it was even over the weekend.
Yeah.
Which is probably problem number 1. It's the NFL, man. It's still baseball season, but it's football season. We all know. It was buried in Sunday night, and I only saw it by accident. It was still on ESPN or whatever the football was on, and there was a highlight of the President's Cup. That's the only reason I saw it. That channel hadn't been changed yet. So, pick it up.
Did you see? Yeah, golf sucks. Did you? I love golf, but it just sucks to watch now, and you can't watch the live unless. Did you ever find out? Did you see that Aaron Rodgers saw something on the jumbotron or something?
No, I saw him comment on this.
I want to know what he saw.
Was it a formation? Was that why he? Because they called timeout. The defense called the timeout on that play.
Yeah,
it was the 2-point try, right? Or was it the?
I don't know. I just saw him say, the jumbotron.
They showed something on the jumbotron, and he ran down to the coaches. I think that's when they burned their timeout, and then they didn't convert the 2-point conversion.
Yeah,
dude, football's been interesting. I think everybody's surprised that the Raiders are 0-3.
The Niners suck.
The Niners are back with Jimmy G behind the old center, and they go and
they're going to
11-10 loss to Denver. Let's ride. What about him, dude?
Dude,
go ahead.
What
the fuck?
What is wrong with that guy? No, it's like, okay, when Serena was doing her last tennis thing.
Yeah,
the dude was there with Sierra, right? His wife.
Mm-hmm.
They were wearing sunglasses. It was a night match. At night.
The one that makes me laugh,
and I'm just like,
is the practice. He's running out to practice, high-fiving the air.
Nobody?
Yeah, there's nobody there.
Or what about the one where he's on the bench and he's like, hey guys, when they go to pass, everybody needs to yell pass.
Yeah.
When they go to run, everybody needs to yell run. And he's on the bench like yelling run and pass, and it's like,
that's Pop
where
Warner.
are we? Freaking high school?
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here?
I think the only touchdowns they've scored, well, they scored one on Sunday night to win, right? That was the 6 points. But before that, I think it was 1 or 2 against Seattle.
But they're calling him the most cringiest guy in the NFL.
I'd have to agree.
Where did that happen?
I always liked him too.
Me too.
He's just kind of tripping me out now. Like
it all started with the let's ride thing, dude.
And now everybody's doing it.
Denver, let's ride.
I just saw Sac State Baseball did that on Twitter. Everybody's doing it.
I did.
Is it a joke or is it
they're making fun of
it? I would be too.
I had CJ do it with the Golden West helmet. I got to show it to you.
That's right. Yeah, it's pretty funny seeing some of the whatever. It's been odd to watch him.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, football is football. I don't know. College football, I like watching college better, but
it's football season until the playoffs start. Until baseball playoffs start, it's football season. I'm excited for it though. We're, like I said, 7 games away from playoffs starting. Obviously, everybody's on Judge watch right now. Stuck on 60. I think if he gets 61, it's because I don't know if he's pressing or not. Like you said, he seems so relaxed.
Yeah.
But I think once he gets that 61 out, like it's back to breathing normal, and maybe he'll rattle off a few more. I hope he gets it. I would love to see him get it, at very least tie it. I don't want to see him stuck on 60, but I think everybody's rooting for him, maybe other than maybe the Maris family. I don't know.
I mean,
were they genuinely rooting for Mark McGwire and those guys?
No. But maybe back then, I don't know, but they said, the Maris brothers, it's hilarious now because they were there for McGwire, And now they say openly that the record's 61.
And that's their right. I mean, you know what I mean? I get that. I don't know if I agree with that, but
it's not 61, 73.
Until it comes out for you, hardcore proof.
Even if it does, I don't give a shit.
You don't care?
No.
You heard it here, folks. 73 is the number. I don't disagree. I don't have a problem with it. There's always going to be that argument, though. It will never stop.
You know what's crazy, though?
It's always going to be divided.
I'm going off on it. Dude, Sammy's supposed to hit over 60 homers in 3 straight seasons, and nobody even ever talked about it.
No.
It was like a normal thing then. Like, because he hit 65.
Yeah.
When McGuire hit 70, and then he hit like 63, 62 in the next 2 seasons. And like the record was 70, so nobody really talked about it.
The other one that gets me is Bonds. That's the only year he hit more than 50.
Yes.
Which to me is insane as well.
Yeah.
49. He got 49 one time.
In 2000, the year before.
And then that's the only year he hit more than 50.
When he started the sauce. He hit 49.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Again, you can go follow us on Twitter and Instagram at HIT.OR.DIE Podcast, on TikTok at HIT.OR.DIE. If you're watching, please hit subscribe if you haven't. If you're listening, please do us a favor and go hit subscribe. Also rate it if you're on Apple Podcasts. Go give it 5 stars, 1 star, 5 preferably. But again, we always appreciate everybody listening. That's another episode of the HIT.OR.DIE Podcast.
HIT or die.